My name's Jake. This is the story of the day I nearly didn't make it out of a wild, remote forest in Alaska. I went there to take pictures, raw, untouched nature shots that I've always been obsessed with. Towering pines, the faint smell of sap in the air, that feeling like you're the last soul on Earth. I'd been through tons of forests before. Thick woods in Oregon, swamps in Florida, snapping the wild at its purest. But no place ever made me feel as small and helpless as this one. And after that day, I'm not sure I'll ever set foot in a forest again. I'd been planning this trip for months. As a freelance photographer, I make a living shooting nature for magazines and travel blogs. Alaska was my big dream. Rugged mountains, endless trees, light so strange it's like nowhere else. I spent hours studying maps and forums, finally picking a lonely spot near Seward, a place so off the grid even locals barely went there. Untouched, pristine wilderness, perfect for photos that could score me some real cash. I packed my camera, a wide-angle lens and a telephoto, a backpack with snacks, water, a small flashlight, an old pocket knife I'd carried since my first hike, and a handheld GPS I got after getting lost in Montana years back. I knew the wild could turn on you fast, so I clipped a can of bear spray to my belt and tossed a whistle into my bag, just in case. The plan was to stay till sunset, grab some shots, and get back to my truck before dark. I'd done this dozens of times. Piece of cake, right? That confidence I'd figure out later was my first mistake, a crack in my thinking that let the forest creep in. The day started normal enough. I woke up early in a cheap Anchorage motel, choked down a stale muffin and black coffee, then loaded my gear into the truck. The drive took 2 hours, winding highway, then a bumpy dirt road snaking into the forest. I parked my beat-up orange truck in a small clearing, the only sign of life for miles, and checked my stuff one last time. The GPS beeped as it locked a signal. The bear spray sat snug on my hip, and the camera's weight around my neck felt like an old friend. I started walking, boots crunching gravel, then dry leaves as I left the road behind. The Alaskan air was sharp, slicing through my jacket, but I didn't mind. It kept me awake. Afternoon light filtered soft through the trees, turning the forest into a golden painting. I went deeper, eyes peeled for shots. A mossy stump glowing green, a little stream sparkling like silver, a flock of birds slicing the sky. That first hour was pure gold. I stopped every few minutes, crouching to frame shots. A deer trail fading into shadow, ferns trembling in the breeze. The forest was alive, birds chirping overhead, squirrels darting up branches, wind rustling leaves. I got lost in it, the camera's click matching my heartbeat. But as the sun dropped lower, everything went quiet. No birds, no squirrels, not even the wind. Just my footsteps on dry leaves, echoing in a stillness that felt wrong. I stopped, hand on the GPS in my pocket, and scanned the trees. I knew forests. This kind of silence usually meant a predator nearby, something scaring everything else off. I pulled out the GPS. The screen flickered, signal fading under the thick canopy. My stomach twisted, a faint warning bell ringing in my head. I'd seen this before. A hawk or a cougar could hush a forest, but this felt heavier, thicker. I grabbed the whistle from my bag, looped it around my neck, and checked the bear spray on my belt. Every instinct screamed to turn back, trace my steps while I still had light. But then I saw the sunset glowing gold through the pines. Too damn beautiful. Too rare. I told myself, just a little farther. You've got this. Biggest mistake I ever made. I kept going, camera ready. The sun sank, sky turning orange and red, light piercing the branches like fire. I pushed deeper, chasing that perfect sunset shot through the trees, worth any risk. I stepped over a low thicket, thorns snagging my jeans, when a chill shot down my spine. Not the Alaskan cold, but something deeper, like my gut yelling, "Danger!" I turned, looking over my shoulder, but saw nothing, just trees in the fading light. Then I spotted it. A long, deep scratch on a nearby trunk, like claws had ripped through, exposing pale wood underneath. "Just the wind," I muttered, but my heart was pounding. Then I heard it, a faint scritch, like metal dragging on stone, coming from somewhere in the forest. It was so quiet at first I almost missed it, maybe drowned out by my steps till the silence let it slip through. It came again, closer, sharper, like something heavy scraping the ground real slow. My heart slammed in my chest. Just an animal, I told myself, maybe a bear with a kill. But that sound wasn't right. Too steady, too cold, like a blade on a sharpening stone. I gripped my camera strap, eyes darting, the whistle chilling my skin. Then a breath hit me, deep, raspy, like an old engine kicking on. It came from my left, not far, rumbling through the ground. My hand went to the bear spray, fingers brushing the canister, but I raised my camera, flicked on the flash. Light flared, cutting the dark, and for a split second I glimpsed a shadow tall and still between two pines. I couldn't make it out. Flash just caught a dark shape and a white glint, like eyes catching the light. It didn't move, but I felt it staring, a gaze that froze my blood. Then a weird whisper drifted out. Not words, but a hiss like wind through tight gaps, low and twisted, making my hair stand on end. I froze, finger trembling over the shutter. The photographer in me screamed to shoot. This was something crazy, something no one'd believe without proof. I pressed the button. Flash popped, but the light didn't show much, just made the shadow blurrier. Then that breath came again, heavy and wet, carrying a rotten stink like something long dead. My stomach lurched, hands shook hard. The camera slipped. Bam! It hit a rock, the sound bouncing through the trees. I turned and ran. That breath followed, faster, closer. Crack! Branches snapped behind me. The scritch of metal mixed with a low growl, like something tearing up the ground to get me. I bolted, tripping over roots, dry twigs slashing my face, tearing skin. The bear spray swung at my hip, but I didn't think to use it. My head was just panic, yelling, "Get out!" The scraping got sharper, branches breaking with a loud snap, snap, the ground trembling under my feet. I glanced back. Trees shook hard, leaves raining down. I couldn't see it, just darkness moving, the scritch and another twisted whisper like muttering I couldn't catch. I ran faster, lungs burning, legs screaming, boots slipping on wet dirt. The growl came again, closer, weaving with the scraping, like it was ripping through the forest to grab me. I stumbled, knee slamming a root, pain shooting up my leg. I scrambled up, hand brushing another deep scratch on a tree trunk, fresh, jagged, like claws had just torn it. More branches broke, real close now, with that low growl rumbling. I ran blind, crashing through brush, thorns ripping my arms, blood trickling down my sleeves. The ground shook harder, that whisper hissing again, like a curse from the dark. My mind was a mess. I shouldn't be here, shouldn't have chased that damn sunset. The forest felt alive, closing in like a trap. I fell again, face smashing wet leaves. The scraping surrounded me. Then I saw it. A weird footprint in the soft dirt, big and warped, not like any animal I knew. I got up, gasping, hands shaking. I was sure I'd die there. Legs giving out, vision blurring. But then I saw a faint orange glow through the trees. My truck. I'd run in circles, lost, but somehow stumbled back to the clearing. I sprinted for it, scraping and growling right behind, ground quaking like it was lunging. I fumbled the keys, dropped them, damn it, grabbed them off the floor. The engine roared, shattering the forest's hold. I floored it, tires grinding dirt, dust flying as I peeled out. In the rear view, I saw a shadow at the forest's edge, tall and still. I couldn't make it out, just darkness and a white glint, that whisper fading as I sped off. It didn't step past the trees, like some invisible line stopped it. I drove straight to Seward, over an hour, hands locked on the wheel, sweat soaking my shirt, breath ragged like it was still there. I never went back. My camera's out there, probably smashed, that blurry shot gone with it. I don't care. I'd rather lose a year's pay than face that forest again. I told some buddies, but they laughed, said it was a bear, a wolf, maybe the light playing tricks. But I know what I felt. It wasn't a bear, wasn't a wolf, wasn't anything I can name. It was a shadow, something that hunted me for kicks and let me go. I don't know why. Months later, I still hear that scritch in my dreams, that twisted whisper jerking me awake, soaked in sweat. I feel an unseen stare drilling into me from the dark, and I check the windows like it followed me home. I don't shoot forests anymore, just studio stuff now, where it's safe, where I can lock the doors. But every Alaska photo I see, every pine, every sunset, makes my heart pound, hands shake, wondering if it's still out there, waiting in the deep woods for someone else to step in. So if you're heading into the deep woods, Alaska or anywhere, watch out. Bring gear to protect yourself. Never go alone. Hear a weird scrape, a whisper from the dark, or spot some freaky mark? Don't wait. Run fast, don't look back, and pray you make it. 'Cause there's stuff out there in the shadows that doesn't want you to see it. And if you feel it, you might not live to tell.